we're doing oil on this 2012 Chevy Malibu. So, if you want to stick around, please watch this if you're curious or you just want to see what it's like to work on a car. We're going to go through some stuff. So, the first thing to do this correctly, you need a 9018. You can get this from, this is a Fram. This is their extra guard, which they should just call it guard. This is kind of their crappiest oil filter, but if you change them often enough, like every 3,000 to 5,000 miles max, it doesn't matter. So, we got this one. These are like $5, okay? So, we will need this in a sec. The next thing we're going to need is, so set that here. You don't want to get that dirty. Yeah, 32 millimeter specific socket. That's going to go on inside the engine right here. I'll show you where that goes. And then you need a 15 millimeter socket and ratchet for down below on the oil. So, first thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and take the oil filter off. So, let's see if we can get this up higher. So, find the oil filter. You're looking right at this little black cap. So this black cap is the oil filter. That's what this socket is for. You're going to set this on top of that. And then, see, can you see that okay? All right, and then we're going to take the ratchet, and we're going to ratchet that off. So let me set the camera here. So this is raw video, so you're seeing the real way to do this, not cut. Now, we're going to break this loose a little bit, and then we're going to make sure we have something underneath. So, this is righty, loosey, lefty, tighty. Wait. Righty, lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. There we go. So, give it a cinch. Loosen it a little bit. Now, we need something like this to catch the mess. So, we're going to go underneath, because we may catch some oil underneath. We don't want that all over the garage. So, let's take this off. I used to hate this design, but I don't know, as you can see, it's kind of coming out. I don't know if you can see that slowly. You know, I was able to do on my channel, which is now, so they actually have dollars, so I can see if on the top if someone's giving me money. Nobody's ever given me money, but I just think it's funny. I'm like, oh wow, I can give money. Do not do this for money, but it is fun. So now that that's loose, gotta get this off of there. So take that off. You might have to retighten that in a little bit to get the socket out. So now this is out. Set this somewhere. You don't lose it because you're going to need it again. The cap, we're going to just twist this sucker and take it right out. So what I was saying about this is, at least with Chevy, we're not dealing with a gooey mess everywhere, right? So it's kind of nice. So this is the old oil filter, and this is the new one. So always leave the old thing intact before you take the new one off, because that way you can make sure you do this correctly. This is the O-ring. This O-ring looks good. I'm going to leave this on there. It comes with an extra one, but this one is totally fine. There was not a single leak on this, so we can leave that. It's not going to kill anything. So tip up is what we're going to do. So you take this right here, and you just kind of pry it off. Done. New one. Now we'll inspect this, but these should collect all the metal shavings and whatever else. There's a little bit of oil from me right now, so I'm going to push that in so it's actually in there. There. Plastic is supposed to go straight on here. That's funny. Alright, what are we doing wrong? There's no threads. There's supposed to be a slight pressure. Let me check this old one, feel what that fits like. That's funny. That one fits perfectly on there, so we'll do the same thing. We'll just wiggle it. Come here, filter. So I'm getting oil on it. Never do this at home. Okay. There, now we're centered and in there. I'm not sure why it was being so feisty, but okay, looks centered to you. Yeah, okay, good. All right, so now we're gonna put this oil filter back in. So this just goes back in the same hole. you can kind of finger tight on that 32 millimeter socket until you can get the socket in there. This might fit like this, it might not. So Chevy is the only one I know that does this weird design. And I say weird just because it's different than everything else. Doesn't mean it's bad. I don't have an oily, gooey mess everywhere, which is nice because many of the other oil filters you take off kind of get jacked up and make a mess everywhere. So we're going to tighten this just to about what it was before, which is what we call hand tight. And I know everybody's hands are different, but you get it in there and give it a little more twist. It should get kind of... Okay, just like that. It's tight enough. Oil is not going to go spraying out of there. And then we will check again to make sure that everything is good. So now, this is where the old oil filter is going to go inside this box for now. Now we got to go underneath the car. This is where the oil goes in. Well, let's drop below and loosen up the bottom. Okay, let's see. Can you see what I see? Let me see if I can bring you guys down a little bit. Alright, let me see if you guys can see me. I think I need to switch my perspective here. What? Alright guys, it says my camera is disabled, so hold on, let me go off and come back. By company policy. I'm like, that's kind of strange. So anyway, I'm gonna show you guys where we are. We're under the car now. I have to get the oil plug loosened up. So let me turn this here real quick so you guys can see where I'm at. Okay. So the oil plug is a 15 millimeter. So we need a 15 millimeter in order to do this. And you'll probably have the nice option that, like I had other people before me worked on this car and they put it on way too tight. Can you see my hand? Right here. This is the bolt that we gotta loosen up. So we're gonna loosen this guy. Now I already kind of pre-loosened him. Put your bucket underneath there, and then we're going to take this out. So you untwist this. Try to keep your hands out of the way because it's gonna be hot. Come on. Almost. And then what I do is I let the bolt fall because I can get it out with a magnet. So now what we gotta do, you guys can see me here. So we're gonna let this drain. I'm gonna switch the camera. So you should see oil coming out of there. And this is underneath the car, going into the bucket. Oil looks pretty dirty. So now the next thing I gotta do is we gotta take that oil plug and capture it because we gotta get a magnet in there and pull that out. So let me do that really quick. So let me get my magnet stick. So all right, good. You see the bucket? Not really. So this is under the car, guys. This is working on the car. If you're like, I don't know how to do my oil. It's really not that hard. It's literally one bolt. So we're draining that all right now. And there was actually, I expected more oil to be in there. Let me get a magnet and let's see if we can get that guy out of there. All right, magnet. There we go. All right. So when I was a kid, my dad had one of these claw thingies. I always thought they were so cool. So squeeze the end and this claw opens up like this. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab onto a magnet like so, and then I'm gonna go inside this, grab my bolt. Oh, but I think I got a live one. There it is. I got the bolt. That's a big bolt. And there's the bolt. So now I gotta clean it off because it's covered in oil. So let me go get a paper towel. They're almost done. Just gotta put oil back in now. You know, it's funny. I woke up this morning and I was wondering what I was gonna do today. Yeah, that's okay. Someone asked for help for their car. We just did. If you're tuning in now, we have already done the piece. No, I'm sorry. We did a mass airflow sensor. So the mass airflow sensor on this car is clean now. Now we're not sure if that was the problem, but we figured we'd clean it off anyway. So here's the bolt, paper towel. Just clean this off. If you're just joining us, we're just doing an oil change right now. Man, that bolt is hot. So we're gonna let this trickle out for a few more minutes, and then we put this bolt back in that hole. So let's see, how close are we? Well, let's do a quick test while you guys are here. We had this magnet on here, so let's look at our oil. I don't know this car. We're gonna get some oil on here and kind of get a little bit of a feel for it. So this oil looks actually fairly clean. I mean, I've seen much worse. This is not black. This is like a brownish color that doesn't have a bunch of dirt in it. So the engine itself seems like it's actually in decent shape. So change your oil, folks. Your engines will last forever if you do that, even on a crazy Chevy. But all right, so we're gonna put this plug back in. So I'm gonna line this up so you can see where we're at, and then I'm gonna reach in here and try to not burn myself. So take this back here. Find the hole, and then we're gonna go clockwise into the hole. Now please guys, do yourselves a favor and don't over tighten this. I don't know why people think this is like holding their family's, tree together or something. It's just ridiculous. You just need to do, I think, like 15 pounds of pressure. So all you gotta do is take your ratchet and your socket, flip it to that. Now we're ready to hold on. There we go. Now we're on tightening. So move this out of the way so we don't dip this with oil too. Now I jacked up the car just a little bit. We're talking a tiny bit. So this thing's go this way. So just I can get my shoulder underneath here. So I'm gonna get this on. Here we go. Okay, watch. Ready? That's it. That's all you need. That will not come out, I promise you. I've done this for over 20 years. And that's just crazy when people cinch them down. I have to replace the oil pan on the other car because some idiot did that. So it's just not necessary. Alright, so now let's get a little bit of oil in this guy and figure out what the capacity is. Can you do me a favor? Can you look up the oil capacity on this car? This is the 2.4 liter engine, I think. So I'm gonna get you guys back in my stand real quick. So hold on. Okay. Now we're back to seeing the rest of the engine. So this is where oil is gonna go in. So if you don't know that, then this is where it goes. It has a picture of an old, it's an oil can, but nobody has oil cans. It looks more like an Aladdin lamp. So
5 quarts.
5 quarts. And there we go. Take that lid off. 5 quarts exactly, and that's on the 2.4 liter. On the 4-cylinder. Because you most definitely don't have 5 quarts in there right now. So this goes in here like this. Now this is from Costco. I'm not a Costco salesman, but I love Costco oil because this is their fully synthetic, high mileage stuff, and it works so good. I use this in every car. Because every one of my cars uses the fully synthetic stuff, and it also they're all good. So is take this to the side, and then you start to pour it in. So make sure before you do this, you have the oil plug in first, because a lot of times people don't do that. And then it all pours on the ground. It's a very novice move. But, let's see how many. Oh, we got a lot of people watching. This is awesome. Well, guys, thanks for joining. We're just doing an oil change, but this is a 2012 Chevy Malibu. Easy day. I don't even. This is the second time I've touched this car. The first time was replacing a headlight, and these guys are notorious for things like headlights. So we're making sure this is supposed to take 5 quarts capacity. If there's anything that marks that, that'd be nice if it said somewhere under here. It tells you that it's 530 oil, so that's good. But we definitely don't want to overfill it. But you said it's 100%. It's 5 quarts.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go all 5 quarts. We're gonna trust the instruments.
I believe that's what it says on Google.
Okay. Well, worst case, we can always drain some out. But I'd like to. That would be a first for me. I've never actually had to do that. But it's kind of nice. All my other cars, you can't use all 5 quarts. It's 5.5 or 4.5. So this works out perfectly. So you use the entire container. Put your lid back on. Now what I do is I reuse these containers to put the old crappy oil in. So let's go ahead and put that in so we don't make a mess. But I do have a bucket that I've been keeping the oil in because I do this fairly regularly. So take this. Here we go. Okay, oil has changed. So now you guys have seen the process of doing oil change. This took us what? Let me see how long we live. So we've been live for 9 minutes. The other video was 7. So 15-minute oil change in the garage with just a few tools. Guys, this is so easy. Anybody can do this. You just gotta want to, and I'm a cheapskate, so I'm gonna do this. So we're gonna close the hood, and then I think we're just gonna call it a day. So if you guys need anything else, please like and subscribe. We'll see you guys on the channel later, and I'll talk to you next time. That was fun.